Are you an employer struggling to keep your employees motivated? If you fall into this category, then this video is just for you. So stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of As an Employer on the Wealth Bankers Career Channel. My name is Anake and I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about how to keep your employees motivated. Now, we all know that employee motivation comes along with increased productivity. So if your employees are not motivated, then just know that you're losing out on productivity. Now let's dive right in and let's start hitting the points like no one's business. The first order of business, you need to make sure your vision is clearly defined to your employees. Your employees are not going to be motivated if they don't buy into your vision. How do you let them buy? How do you let them stay motivated? Well, they need to buy into your vision. So what is your short-term vision? What is your long-term vision? Do they buy into it? If they do, then just know that your business is going to succeed because your employees are going to stay motivated. Now, what are some of the things you need to look out for? Well, we need to understand that millennials, it's a known fact that millennials are not motivated only by money. So if millennials are not only motivated by money, and millennials make up a huge chunk of the workforce, why then is it that money is not the only thing that is enough to keep them motivated? Well, like I said, you need to clearly define your vision and let them buy into it. Let them know that this is where I plan to see myself in the next 5-10 years. If they buy into that vision, then there is no way they're going to give you less than 100%. That's a fact. You can try it out. Now, you need to give employees access to all the tools that they need in order to be effective. Now, if you don't give employees access to the tools that they need, how are they going to be effective? How are they going to be efficient? If you're giving employees less than half of what they require, how do you expect them to produce 100%? Who loses out? Definitely not the employee, but you, the employer, and your company. So give them the tools. A typical example is, we are in 2018, and we know Adobe by all means is going to release a newer version of Adobe Photoshop. So let's just say Adobe Photoshop 2018 comes out. And for your business, you're still running Adobe Photoshop 1993. I mean, I know 1993, probably Adobe didn't have Photoshop back then or something, but if you're using that kind of software, how do you expect to compete with your closest rivals? And how do you expect your employees to be able to work effectively? They won't be, because over the years, changes have been made to such software. So which means it's gotten to a point whereby the software is now more efficient with less. But back then, you have to do a lot more to get the same kind of results. And you're not even going to get the kind of results you're going to get if you're using modern software. So you need to give them the tools they need in order to be able to perform well. It's like asking a carpenter to create a table for you and you don't give him a hammer. How do you expect him to knock the nails into the wood? You need to give them the right tools. Now, moving on to my next point, you need to understand that good communication is key. Now, this world revolves around relationships. And how best do you establish a relationship? Well, through communication. So if you're not communicating properly with your employees, how do you expect them to stay motivated? You need to keep them motivated and you need to communicate well with them. Now, communication is very important. By communicating well with your employees, you are practically telling them that you as an employer care very much about their well-being. And if you care about their well-being, then they are willing to give you 100%. They are willing to work at optimum capacity, at optimum effectiveness and efficiency to give your company what it needs. You know you're not losing out if you learn to be able to communicate well with your employees. Remember, communication is key. Now you need to reward and acknowledge your employees whenever they come up with something, they're able to do something or achieve something. Rewarding people, it helps them to be able to go further. Now as human beings, we are inclined and we've been hardwired to be able to appreciate or give out our best when people show appreciation for what we've done. Now, if I do something good for you, no matter how small it is, if I do something for you and you show appreciation, I'm bound to go an extra mile for you. Same thing with employees. When an employee does something for a company and an employer rewards him, he's willing to go a step further for his company. Now, you don't always have to reward employees based on the kind of money that they bring in. Yes, probably you'll be holding out waiting for a $15 billion. You'll be holding out waiting for a $50 billion contract to come. Don't always wait till those contracts come before you reward your employees. If you say you're going to wait like that, probably you may wait forever. If you're a $1 billion business and you do that, probably yes, it may count for something. But if you're a small business, $1 may not be much. But even if you're a big business, remember, a $1 increase in your stock value can add a lot, can make your business look more lucrative to investors. Jumping into my next point, you need to understand that as a leader, respect is very key. You don't force respect, you earn it. So if you are an employer and you are forcing your employees to respect you, that is not respect, that is fear. They may show you some level of fear or some level of respect, but that is being forced on them. If push comes to shove and they are moved into a position where they have the upper hand over you, that assumed respect goes away in an instant. So then you need to earn their respect. How do you earn the respect of your employees? If you show them that same kind of respect. If you respect your employees, then they respect you. But if you don't respect them, they won't reciprocate it. You need to understand that respect is one of those things that is a give and take affair. You give respect, you take respect. You give respect, your employees give you back that respect. So you need to learn to show respect to all your employees. That is a very, very important thing, and you need to keep it there in your mind as a leader. You also need to be a supportive leader. This is my next point. Being a supportive leader really, really counts. If you're a leader, you're not so supportive of your employees, you're bound to lose out, because employees need to feel that, or need to know at the back of their minds that no matter what happens to me, no matter the situation or circumstance, I should be able to fall on my leader if it comes to it. Now I'm going to give you an example. I worked in a company where one of my colleagues was bereaved. And the boss came down, saw the state in which the colleague was, and told her, you know what, take this week off to mourn your mother. She took that week off. She came back the next week, much better than she would have been in the previous week. And even based on her demeanor, my boss looked at her and said, you know what, you look ready to go, but I still feel that you need some more rest. Just take the next 3 days off. On Wednesday evening, my boss called her again and told her that, you know what, take the rest of the week, come back on Monday. Now she came back on Monday and her work ethic was through the roof. Her performance, like I could not even compare. Nobody in the office could compare, because she knew she had a boss, she had a leader who was supportive of her. He understood the situation that she found herself in and gave her the opportunity to take at least 2 weeks off just to go and mourn her mother. Now this is one instance of being a supportive leader. If you're a leader and you provide the kind of support that your people need, they know that no matter what, since you have their back, they're always going to be willing to go the extra mile for you. Now, talking about being a supportive leader segues neatly into my next point, and that is own up to your faults, own up to your mistakes. If you are at fault for something, don't blame anyone else if you are the one at fault. Own up. If you own up to your mistakes, it counts as a plus for you, because your employees know that no matter the situation or circumstance, you're willing to stand up for what is right. Don't blame employees for a mistake that you have done. If you make a decision and it goes wrongly, you need to own up and accept your mistakes. If you don't accept it, no one will. And if you push it to employees and employees are thrown under the bus, remember, they're not going to go the extra mile for you. This is one way to kill the motivation of employees. So if you're an employer and you don't own up to your mistakes and you always like to push it on employees, just know that you are constantly pushing away the motivation of your employees, and that will come back to haunt you in the end. You need to provide your workers with a good working environment. The working environment should be free, relaxed, and positive. It should also be fun. You don't always have to go to work and then go and sit in a dull work environment. I mean, that's that popular phrase that's go, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So if you come to work and work is no play, you're sitting down, it's all dull, it's just going to be dull, no motivation. But if the workplace is full of energy, bubbling and all that, I mean, employees are going to be fit right in. You need to create a fun environment for your employees to be able to work. You need to provide them with the tools that they need, as I said earlier. You need to be able to make sure that the place is fun. If they are cracking jokes, join in. Sometimes they will make fun of you, sometimes they will tease you, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, they know they can trust you because you've created a good working environment for them. You need to also address problems that employees may bring to you. Yes, you are supposed to be the boss, you're supposed to be the master, you're supposed to be the alpha and omega, the be all end all of the company, but that doesn't mean that you should neglect the plight of your employees. Yes, you should take it seriously. If they come to you with a problem, address it. If they come and they tell you the software we're using is outdated, can we get a newer version? Get them that new version. It is very, very, very important. I'm not going to stress on it enough. It is very, very important. Address their concerns. And my next point is very, very important. If you are an employer who does this, you need to stop now. And that is no work after work. I said it, no work after work. You need to stop giving employees work to do after work. Once you close from work, and if you're doing 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, after 5 you need to close. Once they close, allow them to go home and go and rest. Because if you give them work after work, what they are practically doing is trading one work environment for another work environment. This stresses employees out. In certain countries, people have been known to have committed suicide as a result of stress, as a result of they feel they are stuck in an endless loop of work, no family time, no personal life. They are just stuck in it. They close from work, they go home, there's work. They wake up in the morning, they go back to work, there's work. It's an endless cycle, and a lot of people have been known to commit suicide as a result of that. If you're an employer, you need to stop this now. Once they close, they've closed. Let them go home, let them go and rest. Now, studies prove that once employees have a lot of rest and they come back to work, they are more likely to give off 100%. So you need to remember that next time you decide to give your employees work to go home. Now, my final point, as an employer, you need to plan a fun day out with your employees. Cool, right? Yeah. I mean, yes, you could go karting, paintballing, anything like that, if paintball is even a word. Now, you need to learn to go and have a fun day out. Probably it might just be with your employees, it might be with their families, but it has to be a fun day out, and you're supposed to go and enjoy yourself. The more you do stuff like that, the more employees feel inclined to work harder and harder for you. So these are my tips on how to keep your employees motivated. I know you enjoyed this video, so give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more great content. My name is Anake, and I've been your host for this series as an employer. I'll catch you all later. Salute.